Let's hit it. Today we are gonna get Altering Cave encounter. I mean, unless we wipe, which is incredibly likely to be honest. Let's see here. It's 5 of the mods we need. And our star of the show is gonna be Ursula the Hatterene. Now let's see here. Held items, where's held items? Ursula gets wise glasses for a little bit more damage. There's some very obscure lines where this never melt ice matters. I mean, I actually don't think there are, but whatever. Certainly a healing berry would work here. A citrus for Masquerain. A citrus for Torterra. That one probably gets used, the one for Masquerain probably does not. A Frost for good old Leopold. We've seen so much pain and misery. And an Aspire for Quincia. And now we've got 2 pre-damages to set for Jasad. For Jasad and for Laser Ted. Alright, so we need to pre-damage 19 on Jasad and 18 on Laser Ted. $84 HP and 101. Good, good, good. Okay, so we're in Mauville City, are we? Alright. Three fights we're gonna do today, at least. To get to the Altering Cave. And I think the lions are pretty fun for each of them, so that should be fun to see. Down, up. Okay, can I go up or around there? Nope. Alright, let's just quickly look over the items and everything. We have a terrifying double battle ahead of us. Alright. Black Belt Red and guitarist Marcos. So Black Belt Red has 3 powerful fighting types. Guitarist Marcos has some tailwind setters. So here's what's gonna happen. Crobat is gonna see fast kill into Masquerain, and Crabominable is gonna see slow kill into Masquerain, and only that, and click those. And we are going to wipe out the Crobat with a Psyshock. Then Masquerain, instead of staying in and dying, is going to switch into Shell Armor Cloyster, who is gonna take some damage and set up for the rest of the line. Not too much from this dual wing beat. And not too much from this here Ice Punch. This is gonna bring in the second Pokemon from the guitarist, which is Noivern. Noivern is a Dragon Flying type. And we have a fairy move, so no marks for guessing what's going to happen here. This Dazzling Gleam is also going to chip this Crabominable way down low, or maybe just straight up kill it. And Laser Ted is at 58 HP. So we should always be baiting close combat from Crabominable, and yeah, always baiting Dragon Pulse or a couple of overlapping rolls of Air Slash from Noivern, which will let us go into Citrus Berry Torterra to tank this. Now there's various lines because it's not guaranteed that we kill the Crabominable with this Dazzling Gleam. No way, I think it is guaranteed because of close combat defense drop. I think what's not guaranteed is, yeah, it's not guaranteed we kill the Noivern here. And so it could click Tailwind next turn. That's not so bad. Hatterene is much slower than everything else in this fight, so making the enemy faster doesn't really impact her a lot, and she is our main damage dealer. So it's probably ideal if we kill here, but you know, it's not the end of the world if we don't. I think this should just be Heracross from the Black Belt. So this is a real classic. Guts Heracross with Flame Orb. Now this first turn he can't kill us, and Hatterene can just blow him away with a Psyshock, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Norat at this HP is baiting exactly always Leech Life, or maybe Facade. And oh wait, hang on a second. It's always going to be Leech Life unless it's Protect, which can happen, but that's not a big deal because there's not Tailwind. No, it's just always exactly Leech Life. So we're going to safely go into Staraptor to tank that one. Alright, you've had your fun. Last enemy on the field, Belly Drum Poliwrath. This does not very much damage to Staraptor in the worst case scenario. We could get frozen, but we are faster anyways. So that's not a big deal for Staraptor. We can also get Liquidation into Hatterene, which will not kill. Again, this is a good time for Psyshock. Do a Wing Beat. And this just should always kill, and if it's Belly Drum, I mean especially, it always kills. This does have Citrus Berry. Well, we were never dead to crit. Not a big deal. Another riskless fight, boys. I think there were actually some very, very obscure risks there, maybe. No. No, this was riskless. Lots of fans? What the heck do you mean? It's just me and this guy. Well, okay. Going to head over to Slateport to top off. If I could, like, not run into every single NPC on the way there, that'd be cool. Alright, next fight, Pokefan Miguel. Or Miguel. I don't know why I pronounced it that way. I heard somebody say Miguel one time. Alright, let's have that extra Nevermo Ice. Let's have those Wise glasses. Nice work, Ursula. You really did a lot of good work there. And the only party changes, yeah. Good work, Laser's Head. Nice tanking. Gotta bring in Cassandra. I'm gonna bring in Saltine. This fight is a bit more complicated and chancy, but overall I think it's quite safe. Let's get the items set up. Has to be an Oran Berry specifically on Dragalge. Citrus Berry heals too much. Oh, hey there. How's it going? You just missed that double that I was looking at last night. I think my line was actually riskless. Basically, the point was Hatterene just like one-shots almost everything. And I was just able to, you know, pivot around and bait the moves into the other side. Yeah, yesterday was pretty miserable. I was working really late. I mean, I guess I figured out something important, but then, as usual, I figure out something important, and then I decide it's not actually important. Oh, you're looking at the Run-A-Bun AI? I mean, I feel like the way you seem to know the game, you would probably tear through it a lot quicker than I have been. 21 hours, apparently, this run. So we are about to see the first place where the IVs and so on the Dragalge are really going to make a difference. If I had a little bit better of physical attack... Actually, I'm adamant, so maybe the nature is good here. If I had better physical attack, maybe I would be able to do something slightly safer than what's about to happen. Yes. So that was the battle that I just fought. These two guys here. And the next one is Pokefan Miguel. So... I can pull it up here. Yeah, this is a relatively straightforward singles battle. The Den with Focus Sash and Electric Terrain, which it really, really wants to set up. I think it's like 90% to click that. No, I did that on camera, but before you showed up in the chat. Like, rewind 10 minutes and you'll see it happening. Yeah, I think that was riskless. This battle is not completely riskless, but it's like 99% fine. And next battle is very interesting. So next battle after this one is going to be a Trick Room team. Here you can see we have Gourgeist Super and Alolan Executor with Trick Room. And as you were kind of alluding to last time, Hatterene is incredibly slow and underspeeds everything. And so she is also going to be a key part of our plans in that fight. Yeah, so here we have Focus Sash to Den with Electric Terrain, Togedemaru with a Steel Roller to take advantage of the Electric Terrain, and Magnet Rise to avoid Torterra's ground move, but I'm still going to try to use Torterra against this with a little Intimidate help, and Mimikyu with Swords Dance that I don't want it to set up with. But, no fear. Either my plan is flawless and I win, or I end up resetting. Oh, a tech. There's a couple variants of what I plan to do, but I think that Rock Blast, which is what I plan to do with Rock Blast, the first hit should deal with the disguise, and then the other hit should go through, right? So... Oh, what? Wait, how does that work? If you do enough to OHKO, it just goes through disguise, or... Well, now I'm curious, because I don't remember anything like that on the known bugs list, but I guess you're saying it's a vanilla behavior. Ah, a Jacoba berry. Is that how it's spelled? That would make more sense. Let's see here. When do we... Okay, do you ever get that in this game? Let's see. I think you do, but I think it's after Victory Road. Oh, Route 119. Let's see. When is that on the... Yeah, you're right. You get that in... Winona Split, it seems. Yeah, you get that after you get Surf, apparently. So... 2 gym leaders after this. Oh, but that's interesting. So that destroys the disguise, and then... Wait, will there? Let me see. Well, I guess that's right. Apparently there's going to be 5 more Mimikyus. But, I mean, there won't be in this run. Yeah, I'll write it down. Let's see. I have a note file of all the runs I've done and all the stuff that I've learned, and it is currently 8.2 thousand lines long. Ah. Maybe I did read something about that. Anyway. Oh, yeah. There are some things like that. Like, although I guess this is vanilla behavior, emergency exit and U-turn, like only one of them can go off, or something like that. Yeah, let's see if we live or die. Alright, so the first plan, this is probably going to set electric terrain. And we are going to just click toxic. Okay, this is 10% to click Super Fang here, and it did. And we get Oranberry. So electric terrain is +8 score for the AI, and highest damage move is +6 80% of the time. So 20% of the time, highest damage move is tied with electric terrain, and then it's a coin flip. And we just landed in that 10%. Yeah, terrain is +8. In any case, now it's probably also going to go for electric terrain, and we get to click Sludge Bomb and kill it. Yeah, so the end result was pretty likely to happen. It was just almost certainly to be in the other order. No, Sludge Bomb is a range. Also, this has Focus Sash. Remember, this Dragalge is minus special attack. And 9 IV. Also, does Electric Trainer have defense? No, it doesn't. Oh, well, I guess I wouldn't call it OHKO because I spent 2 turns on it, but yes, exactly. Alright, now Togedemaru. We have 66 HP. We are exactly always dead to Steel Roller. So it min rolled. Wait, there was no min roll. It never attacked us. It just used Super Fang once. And Steel Roller. Yeah, it's always Steel Roller here because it sees Fast Kill. So this is according to plan. We're gonna intimidate it and let it remove the terrain. And now it's gonna click always Zing Zap or Magnet Rise. So at the very least we get a free switch into our ground type. Yep. Alright. Now the situation is, this is 50, okay. This is, what? This is 40% to click Magnet Rise, and 60% to click Iron Head. So, let's just see if I get to one-shot. That would be nice. This thing is, Rocky Helmet, by the way. Well, bad luck. But the point is, this is intimidated to -1. We have Seed Bomb and Synthesis. And so, like, the only way we lose here is if we get flinched to hell. And there's also backup plans. Hey, missed. Alright. Had a long walk in the icy cold today and then came back to my flat, which is even colder. Because I have no heat. Which is fun. And that's why I gotta fire up the old PC. Yeah, like, I pretty much always win the matchup. It's just technically possible that I get flinched to hell. And I don't have anything that outspeeds this Togedemaru. Well, I do like spicy food, but doesn't exactly make up for the cold. Gonna synth up because basically there's 2 ways that Mimikyu works out for us. We finish on high HP or we finish on very low HP. And I don't feel like playing games with finishing on low HP. Alright. So this is, again, 40% Sword Stance and 60% Play Rough. Similar to the previous situation. The point is that Sarina does good damage with Trop Kick here, which checks the Sword Stance. Unlucky. Oh, but you know something? Because I'm actually not in crit range because my attack was dropped. Otherwise I would be, which is so funny. If she didn't drop my attack there, then I would have been in crit range. Since when have I been playing Emerald? I've never played Vanilla Emerald. I've only ever played this. So I get to stay in for one more Trop Kick. I mean, unless I don't understand how Play Rough crit works. Interacts with my attack drops, in which case I could have been dead there. This is -2. I am now not terribly scared if it was to Swords Dance. What does good damage against this? Alolan Golem. Yeah, we go to Alolan Golem. Is there any reason not to click? Okay, this still outspeeds me at -1. So there's no reason to get fancy with it. I think Wild Charge is a range. I think it's actually not possible to kill after the Drain Punch recovery without a crit. But we're just fine. We're Rockhead, so we don't even take recoil or anything. This is very safe. I think this, yeah, this use of Citrus was pretty unnecessary. I'm pretty much counting on losing the run before I run out of Citrus Berries anyway. Alright, this next fight is a bit more of a cook. Because the lead Pokemon has Explosion. Explosion and Trick Room. And so if you're faster, then you have to worry about it setting Trick Room. If you're slower, you have to worry about it exploding on you and just killing you. But we have a plan for that. Nope. I technically could have a Ghost type. I think the only Ghost type I could ever have at this point is Wait, no, Basculin's not a Ghost type. You have to evolve it. So I don't think there's ever any Ghost types at this point in the game. The plan for Explosion is we're going to lead an Intimidate Mon to nerf the damage a little bit, and then go into okay, my notes are actually very sketchy and I wrote this morning. Let's see. Go into Cloyster. Right. Yeah, so here is the team sheet for Daisy. Gourgeist Supersize. With the moves that matter here are Shadow Claw to check Hatterene, who'd be dead to crit, Explosion, and Trick Room. Trick Room is +10, so it's always clicking Trick Room, unless it's low HP, in which case Explosion could be clicked instead. Or if it sees a kill. Lurantis with Assault Vest, Contrary, and, you know, stacked with stat-dropping moves. Alolan Executor with Trick Room again, Sleep Powder, Wood Hammer, and Dragon Hammer. So, unsurprisingly, my Fairy type's going to play a role. And Florges. So... yeah, quite doable. By the way, have you ever heard of the dead internet theory? I just ask because it's suddenly relevant. So the dead internet theory is the idea that the internet is dead in the sense that, like, most of the people you interact with on the internet are actually just bots. I mention this because Mist of Berry is a bot who tries to sell people, like, profile pictures, branding, and stuff like that. The stuff that I might want if I was an actual streamer. It makes for a very weird experience. I wouldn't have to pay taxes. Well, I don't know. Maybe the tax man still managed to tax you anyway. But on the other hand, in my country, they say no taxation without representation. So maybe, if they want to tax the bots, they gotta give them a seat in Congress. Alright. Indeed. Well, he taxed whatever money you might be able to scam from people, stuff like that. I mean, technically, I don't know that Mr. Berry is a bot. It could be a human with a really unprofitable and silly business model, but like, nah. Good question. So nothing in my box can OHKO Gourgeist. It's not even a roll. Staraptor can do 3/4 of its health. Because this is Gourgeist Super, the form with the most HP. And also being a ghost type kind of outrules certain attacks, obviously. The thing that I have as closest is Masquerain Air Slash, I believe. I could go to the casino. Jinx and Magmar could OHKO. Yeah, so the way this is going to work, if I look at my terrible notes, Masquerain is going to lead off against Gourgeist. When it's at full HP, it never explodes. It always clicks Trick Room. Then we are slower in Trick Room. We'll go straight into Cloyster. Sorry, we'll go... we will Air Slash the first turn. Yeah, so this is the Masquerain. So first turn we Air Slash, bring this down real low. It sets Trick Room. It's probably going to click Explosion. We go into Cloyster. We're never dead to -1 Explosion. We're Shell Armor. And on the off chance that it doesn't click Explosion, then the Air Slash leaves it really low HP, so we can outspeed, or we can priority kill with Ice Shard. So that's how we're going to deal with this lead. Cloyster should bait in Lurantis for a Leaf Storm, contrary Leaf Storm. No, I have no Encore. The only mon I have that can learn Encore is Walrein, which... I would need a heart scale for that, and I've already spent all my heart scales. So, if you haven't read about this game, this is a specific part. Heart scales are a limited resource, because you cannot get them off of Wild Love Disc, or Wild Love Disc isn't an encounter anywhere anyways, I don't think? Maybe it is. And I would need one to reteach a move. And I think almost nothing learns Encore as level up. But sometimes they like learn it as level 0 on the evolved form, and then you can scale it. Can I charm it instead? Yeah, that's a good point. So yes, but I would be dead to crit. And also Seed Bomb crit. And also I have plans that Walrein could be used on one of the other mons. So yeah, we can kill this lead, bait Lurantis. It does boost its special attack, but Dragalge actually walls and kills this really well. And boosting the special attack by 2 stages is not actually that scary, because it doesn't even create more higher damage than Superpower for this guy. So I'm just going to kill it with Dragalge. Then that will always bait Dragon Hammer from Executor Alola, letting us get Hatterene on the field, who underspeeds and one-shots. That leaves us with just Florges. And between Hatterene, who won't even take any damage due to being fairy on that last switch-in, Torterra, and Walrein, we can take down this Florges in some way or another. So that's the plan. I think it's pretty solid. No, I don't have Iron Ball. So the way to get Iron Ball in this game is there's some fight after you get past the desert into whatever route is like covered in ash, where some random Bronzong has Switcheroo and can give it to you, and that's the way you get it. But that's in Flannery Split. So after Norman. Also, the other thing is that Bronzong has Explosion, so if you're really unlucky, there's nothing you can do and you just never get Iron Ball. There's no 100% way to get it. That said, it would sure be useful if I had. I do think I get Lagging Tail sooner. Alright, let me set the items in this, guys. Well... Okay, let's be real. We're not going to beat Norman with these mons. Have you looked at the Norman fight in this game? Who is holding my wise glasses? Oh, I already did the items? Yeah, okay. But yeah, have you looked at the Norman fight? Because the Norman fight is some cruel stuff. So like, let's look at this fight, because it's where this run is probably going to end. So we have Porygon 2 with Eviolite and Thunder Wave and Ice Beam and Tri-Attack just to make sure you don't know what berry to use to defend yourself, and you don't have Lumberry at this stage either, and you can't pre-status in gym battles. Huge Power Azumarill, which is like really the least of your worries. Huge Power Diggersby with Focus Sash, but in this game, Diggersby is buffed to have a ton of base attack. So Diggersby's attack is 71 already. Because Dexa was like, well, I don't want to give the player huge power, but I want to not make Diggersby too terrible, so I'll give them better attack. But then the AI has huge power and the better attack. So that's great. Meloetta with Relic Song. To transform, of course. Close Combat and Zed Headbutt. I don't know what we're going to do about that combination without any dark types, that I lost my last dark type before you showed up. Cinccino. Skilling Cinccino with King's Rock and a bunch of moves that will hit 5 times to like more than half the time flinch you. And me without any static or flame body mons, because again I got them all killed like a fool. And make a Pidgeot. Because why not? I think I have to beat Flannery before I even get access to Megas. So, yeah, that's the last fight of this run. Assuming that I don't die before then. And, between here and there, we have this Aroma Lady. Another double battle based around sleep bullshit, more or less. The Lagging Tail Delmise. And 3 fights to get through Norman's gym. So basically, at this very moment, there are 6 battles left in the run. 6 trainer battles, anyway. Well... Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think you're gonna cook your way out of this one with a glance at the team sheets. Wait. I'm a little confused. Oh, oh, my notes are wrong. Well, the usual way is to have, like, Ampharos or something. Apparently I get an encounter before this battle instead of after. I thought I had to... What am I doing? Yeah, what is in this route? That's what I was looking up. So, Altering Cave. We can get Riolu, Timber, Alolan Sandshrew, Magnemite, Bergamite, Numel, Porygon, Girder, Sandslash, Magneton, and Torkoal. There's no dupes or anything. There's no fancy stuff to do. And I forgot to leave a Mon lower level. And by forgot, I mean I had no flexibility to do it, to repel Manip. So we are just going to encounter what we encounter and hope for the best. Timber I got last run. It did surprisingly little for me. Even Guts, it just wasn't quite useful enough to do anything on Norman. Oh yeah, it was Riolu. So this was a 20%. So one of the more likely things to encounter here. Alright, get in there, come on. Well, look, it's a fighting type. Wait, I've never actually had this Pokemon before. This is a fighting type, right? It's a fighting type, and I don't have any of those right now. And it's a steel type, and I don't have any of those right now. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is at the very least some flexibility. Yeah, we'll see. First I have to catch the bloody thing. I've never seen a critical catch animation before. I think that's what that was. Like, literally all I know about this guy is that he is a character in Super Smash Brothers. A game I've basically never played anyhow. But, hey, that's a new encounter. There's not any items in here or something that I'm supposed to get, right? Too memey. Oh, god damn it. Alright, well, not to delay the fight anymore, but let's see what we got. I don't think it's gonna change my line, which I think is decently solid. I mean, I guess a steel type might come in handy in case of, you know, having a tank explosion, but we already have Shell Armor Cloister for that here. So. Naive. Well, he's got some kind of attack IV at least. And even if the speed IV is not that great, but plus speed makes up for it a little, could be worse. Now let's see what this learns in this game. So we start with Quick Attack, Rock Smash, Copycat, and Metal Claw. Evolution level 28. If I delay this, I can get Sky Uppercut. So what do I want on this? Sky Uppercut, let's say. Bullet Punch can be useful. Oh, but if I... Okay, here I got a hard choice. So if I delay for Sky Uppercut, I don't get Aura Sphere. Roar Copycat? How does that work? Because if somebody roars, then you're sent out. So how can you Copycat Roar? I guess if you're sent in, you could Copycat it. I suppose Stealth Rock Copycat is the only way the player can get Stealth Rocks in this game. So that could be useful. Alright, let's see. So do we skip Aura Sphere in order to get Sky Uppercut for the gym? I think we do. Even though it's really bad to skip Aura Sphere because... I see. I don't want to skip Roar, or I don't want to skip Aura Sphere, but I think I have to. Well, so here's the reason I don't want to do it. Because right after this gym is the desert. And as you would maybe not be surprised, this desert in this game is full of, like, Sand Veil, Bright Powder, and all this stuff. And so 100% accuracy moves are very useful there. Okay, so basically the question is, do I take... I have a choice between Sky Uppercut and Aura Sphere. I can get one and not the other. I can also get Vacuum Wave. So, like, let me think. What's the set that we want on this? We want... Let's keep Copycat. There's obviously some bullshit uses for this. Okay, yeah, you're actually doing things the smart way and saying, wait till we actually need the thing. But, yeah, let me have a draft in my mind. So, Copycat, Aura Sphere, it'll be very useful for the desert. It's almost as good as the, wait, I'm a little confused. Oh, Sky Uppercut I would get just after the gym. That's pretty good. Iron Tail is pretty good. And maybe Bullet Punch? And just get rid of Rock Smash. But Rock Smash is pretty useful since it is 100% defense drop in this game. Iron Tail is 85%, but good call. Yeah. So one thing this hack does is make things a little less random by upping the accuracy of lots of moves. So lots of things that are like 80% or 90% are now 100. But yeah, you're right. It's not completely accurate. So maybe I would want like Copycat, Aura Sphere, Bullet Punch, potentially Vacuum Wave. Steadfast. Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to say... Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Not useless, but there's better uses of a move slot. Yeah, that's probably right. The only thing will be, that probably is a decision where we, you know, I start calculating the gym battles and then I'm gonna see if it makes a difference at all in the short term. Similarly, whether Rock Smash will affect any lines, because Rock Smash dropping the defense could be clutch sometimes, obviously. Hey, good question. Let me see here. Item locations. Megastones. Mega Lucario is not available in this game. Yeah, the set of Megas in this game is kind of limited, but they are really, really good. Like, I think many people will say Mega Beedrill is one of the top Pokemon that you can even get. Because, Mega evolving that thing, changing its speed stat, changing other things, is really fucks with the AI in a very helpful manner. Well, does this guy do something useful? No, he doesn't. Okay. Good. Good thing I checked before I entered battle with the wrong lead. That would have been deadly. Alright, let's see if I got this right or no. By the way, is this little bridge here like that in Emerald? Or is this something that Dexa did? But let's have at it. Let's check the lead one more time. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so let's see if I understand the AI. Intimidate this to -1. It would absolutely kill us if it exploded, but because it is slower and full health, it never does that. It's always clicking Trick Room. I don't think we can kill with a... Oh, actually, I'm curious if I have a range to kill. That would actually fuck up my lines slightly, but I think it's okay because I don't underspeed. No. If I don't crit, I don't kill with Air Slash. Air Slash can flinch him though, right? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The time to think about air/flinch was before I entered the fight. Alright, now this guy is almost certainly exploding because he's extremely low HP. In fact, I think that this is guaranteed explosion. Well, except that I want Trick Room to be up when I bring in Hatterene, because Hatterene underspeeds everything. This citrus was necessary because I need to be a little bit higher HP to bait, to know exactly what move is going to be clicked. So this is always exactly Leaf Storm. Contrary is such nonsense. Alright, now I gotta think. Is there any point at all clicking Toxic? Like, no, right? I'm not gonna click Toxic. It's better to just use Sludge Bomb. Actually, it was probably better to click Acid Spray. Wait. Why was it able to click Leaf Storm again? Leaf Storm was lower damage. Oh, it could click Leaf Storm because it views it as a setup move. Due to being contrary. Alright, good news is this is a really good range. Okay, I actually didn't plan this quite right. Did I? That was riskier than I wanted it to be, but that was a good range. God damn it. Okay, I want to look at the AI doc. Trick Room. Yep. Oh, wait, what? No. This isn't the mon I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to see Alolan Executor. But because Trick Room ended... okay, Trick Room ended, which means that Alolan Executor was slower than us, and Florges is faster. So let me think for 1 second. Okay, this kind of ruins my plan for Alolan Executor. No, but Florges doesn't have Trick Room. Alolan Executor has Trick Room. So I thought Alolan Executor was going to come in here, but I miscounted the turns, basically, because I thought Trick Room would still be up when I killed the Lurantis. So he can't actually set Trick Room. So this is always Psychic. And we are going into... depends on what he rolls. But this is always Psychic. There's nothing he's going to click other than highest damage here. He doesn't have, like, setup moves or anything. We're just going to go straight into Torterra. No drop. Yeah, well, whatever. This plan's good enough. So what we are going to do here is... Seed Bomb. This thing shouldn't be able to kill us because we are Shell Armor, so no random crits can happen against us. this shouldn't be able to click Synthesis because we do more damage than is healed off. We are speed type, by the way. And we are never dead to max roll. No, maybe I was supposed to Synthesis there? Yeah, I was supposed to Synthesis there. That was a mistake. Because now... this is always exactly Woodhammer or Trick Room. Never Dragon Hammer. Because Woodhammer is higher damage and Dragon Hammer cannot kill. So we are going to go into Masquerain to bait Dragon Hammer or Trick Room. The plus. Check what? Yeah, you know what? Let me think here for a second. So let's suppose I Synthesis this turn. Because if I Synthesis, he never does more damage that I heal off, and I go first. I actually don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm thinking about how to... so what I want to happen is for him to set Trick Room and then click Dragon Hammer as I switch into Hatterene and then kill. But if I go straight to Masquerain, he could click Woodhammer instead of setting Trick Room. Yeah, but the problem is if he doesn't Trick Room, it's not going to work out. Because if I go straight into Masquerain, he could be clicking Woodhammer now because he may see a kill, depending on what he rolls. He almost certainly does, in fact. Woodhammer minimum damage is 52. So if... yeah, I can go into Masquerain, but the problem is, after taking the Woodhammer hit, he may be clicking Dragon Hammer, depending on how much damage he does. So if he crits, and then if he clicks Dragon Hammer into Hatterene, I take no damage. But then, if he clicks Woodhammer again, then I would die to high roll crit on Hatterene. And that all could potentially happen instead of him clicking Trick Room if he crits Masquerain. So basically I would be risking double crit. And I just don't think I have to do that. Because instead I can Synthesis now. I heal up before he attacks. I'm Shell Armor, I never get crit. And eventually I'll be out of kill range. And then he'll have to click Trick Room. And then I can safely dance to Masquerain and Hatterene with no fear. Slow kill, slow kill. But slow kill is always clicked over Trick Room. So I think the right play is to Synthesis, just to play around double crit. Okay, he Trick Roomed. So that was a 1 in 16. That was a 1 in 16, but there he clicked Trick Room. Well, that's totally fine. The problem is now... okay, now he's never clicking Dragon Hammer, so we still do the Masquerain pivot to set it up. Alright. Hit me with your best shot. Okay, and now this could be Dragon Hammer, this can be Sleep Powder. We are Chesto Berry just in case of that. Also, I'm synchronized, so that would be very funny if he did put me to sleep. But I guess Chesto Berry cures it before synchronized procs. And now I outspeed in Trick Room, and sometimes it's good to be a fairy type with a stab move. So it didn't quite go like I planned, but more or less worked. I always feel silly with how bad I am at riding the bike. Just running into every wall. Yeah, I think this fight is gonna be easier than my last run because of a few things. So one, I have Sarina with Sweet Veil, so I can't be put to sleep. And, I think Hatterene may also come in handy here. Yeah, so to review what we have to deal with. Twins, Amy, and Liv. So this is a true double battle this time. No shenanigans like before. And this double battle is all about putting you to sleep. So we have Gengar with, you know, Dream Eater and Hypnosis. And Substitute, why not? Imagine if I could have that as the player. Persian with Dream Eater. And a bunch of other nonsense. Hypnosis. Jinx. Nightmare, Dream Eater. Lovely Kiss. Hypno with Dark Void. And Dream Eater. You can see this team is all sleep. And then we have Corviknight with Light Clay to set Reflect and Light Screen. Well, this is Run and Bun. I think last time I faced this fight, I had to risk this line, but, yeah, but, like, the other thing is, like, if it's a sleep team, a thing you can do is just burn all your mons, and then a lot of this can't do anything. Like, I think Hypno in the back here literally can't do anything if it can't put you to sleep. And this thing here, like, what's it gonna do? Ice Beam? Well, great, but just bring in something that's now weak to ice. So, if it can't put you to sleep, there are some Pokemon with big advantages. Like, Gengar's only damaging move to non-asleep Pokemon is Hex. This is outrageous, but there are options. Yeah. Unfortunately, kill Corviknight is easier said than done in general. What do we have that can even make a scratch? Okay, I guess we have exactly one Pokemon in the box with an electric move. Wait about a minute. Staraptor has an electric move. Staraptor also has an electric move. Yeah, it's not that good. Okay, do I ever Tailwind on this team? Like, no, right? There's no point. Yeah. I just have Tailwind and I keep checking to see if it will do anything for me ever. So last run, when I got to this point, I had Salazzle with Fast Encore on a lot of things. It was faster anyway. I had Eldegoss to drop people's speed. I really had a box full of tools. This run I have some good mons, but not any cool tech like that. So let's see here. Well, let's see. So basically, yes, I have never had a fake out mod in this box. I had all the Intimidate and none of the fake out. But, so the good thing is that this is like... +7 screens, but half the time +8. Which basically means that 90% of the time, it will click a screen move. And 10% of the time, it will consider attacking. Technically, it's a little more likely to screen because depending on what I have out, there may be 2 different screens that it could click. But like if I have only physical attackers, it won't click light screen. So basically, it's not that unsafe to assume this always clicks reflect when it can. Yeah, so Brick Break, I can teach Alolan Golem Brick Break. Maybe Lucario could learn Brick Break. I actually thought that Sarina could learn Brick Break at one point, and I planned a whole Watson line around that idea, and then I realized I was wrong, and it was so annoying. But yeah, let's see. So I mean, let's just say I was Brick Break. The problem with Brick Break here is that it's 4 times resisted, right? And also, if I bring this mod, I need to come up with some way how it doesn't get put to sleep in the meantime. Yeah, like, somehow, the way that I'm looking at this fight is, if I can... Gengar actually is kind of dangerous with Hex, depending on which mon. Corviknight is a problem for setting screens, but like somehow if I can get rid of them, and then just have like a bunch of mons who can't be put to sleep for various reasons, then I'm quite safe. Like, Hypno can't do anything if you're not asleep. So he kind of doesn't exist. Now, there's other lines where you put somebody to sleep to bait Hypno out, then switch them out, and Hypno just stands there uselessly. I have looked into that before. Maybe the right thing to do is bait kills, so that Alolan Golem can just attack 2 times and get rid of Corviknight straight away. And then move straight on to getting rid of Gengar. Yeah. I mean, this is... So that much is not a crazy idea, but like, I would say a bog standard thing to do. But it's also probably what I was going to do. So let's say pre-damage Masquerain at 40 HP. So, yeah, pre-damage Masquerain. Baits 2 attacks. Alolan Golem gets rid of a lot of Corviknight's health. Is there a way to do that? That doesn't work. So I wanted Masquerain because it can be higher HP. And still bait 2 attacks and maybe do something later. But yeah, it doesn't have to be Masquerain. Like, any random Pokemon damage low enough, basically. can do this job. Oh, good point. Yes, so this is another reason. Thank you for reminding me of the other reason why this fight is diabolical. Because you can't just say, oh, I'll just have a Chesto Berry, so that'll keep me safe, because Corviknight will prevent that. On the other hand, if you don't need to use Chesto Berries, because you're just baiting a bunch of attacks at the beginning, and so they're never clicking sleep moves because they would rather take a kill, then that's kind of irrelevant. And then you just get rid of Corviknight first. So, I mean, that's how this fight is often done. And by often, I mean I fought it once before, and that's what I did. If I recall. Yeah, so we kill Corviknight by turn 2. 2 Mons, baiting moves. One of them is Torterra, probably because... Let's be real. It can be anyone, but I like somebody Shell Armor to do this job. Then... Another person who can take some hits... well, actually, it can be somebody frail. So there's like an unknown Mon who I'll represent by this Miltank. Then Torterra. That gets me Corviknight killed. Then I want to bait Jinx, but that's very easy to do. Cloyster, take an Ice Beam. Hex is... This is faster. We can use Citrus Berry to live that. Then... pivot into the immunity. No, this has to click Ice Beam. Have a Chesto. Yeah, like Walrein. Alright, now I've killed these two. Jinx is there. Persian's there. Now I have a Alolan Golem at full health. Walrein at pretty much full health. I have to kill Jinx. I have to kill Persian. Nothing can go wrong. Walrein is burned. Alolan Golem could get put to sleep or something. I don't really care that much because I'll just have in the back so yeah, Sarina and Torterra are playing the similar roles here. I just said Torterra because since it's Shell Armor, I don't have to think so carefully about whether I'm dead to crit in some scenario. Especially if Corviknight's not dead yet, and so there's Unnerve. Also... and he's gone. So, for that reason, I'd prefer Torterra. And then I just need one more Mon to help Alolan Golem in getting rid of Jinx at the end. Or to help Walrein in doing it. To get rid of Jinx, this stupid Persian, and Hypno. It should be somebody who can do half a person's health. Somebody who... Yeah. Oh, no. This is simple, right? So, nothing to it. So how do I bring down Gengar? Very simple, right? So turn 1, I do half damage to Corviknight. Turn 1, Golem and Sarina. I do half damage to Corviknight. Sarina switches to Torterra. Turn 2, I do half damage. I kill Corviknight and bait in Jinx. And, maybe I want my grass type there. Corviknight will never click Roost. Because... Roost, how much HP does Roost heal? It heals half, right? Yeah, but it never clicks Roost. So, because Roost only heals for half, and it sees that it is flying type at the beginning of the turn, so it considers that I would do more damage than it's going to heal off. Now, the truth is that, of course, if it would get rid of its flying type, I would not actually do half damage. But the AI doesn't know about that. No, he's never clicking a screen because he's always clicking Pluck. He's always seeing a kill into the other side. So that's why it's not going to click a screen. In fact, what I really need to know is who among these guys is the most dead to the average. Yeah, okay. Right. So turn 1, he's gonna click Hex into Sarina because he's gonna see a kill. I'll go into whatever my second mon is. Let's say Cloyster. With Citrus Berry. We'll take the Hex from Gengar, take the Pluck from Corviknight. Actually, I think I'm never dead even without Citrus Berry. Then turn 2, they'll be both trying to kill Cloyster, so I'll just go straight into Torterra. Then Corviknight will go down during turn 2. Torterra will have come in, which means that Jinx will come out, seeing the Ice Beam kill on Torterra. Turn 3, Jinx goes for Ice Beam into Torterra. Corviknight goes for Pluck into Torterra because I'll pre-damage so that it's a kill. And then but if I did that, but if I take a Hex with Staraptor from Gengar, the problem is that now Gengar won't see a kill anymore. And so the next turn he may click Hypnosis, he may click Substitute, and then it goes off the rails. So ideally I want to plan make a plan where that can never happen. Now maybe an alternative to that is that I just poison this Golem And then Hypnosis only ever goes into the other side, and then I'm kind of okay with that. But I just, I'm not sure if I need to do it that way. Because if I poison the Golem, the problem with that is, now, or even if I burned him, Hex would be a ton of damage. And so pretty soon he would start seeing a kill on Golem, so I can't accept that risk. And I can't beat Chesto because I started against Corviknight, so I have to... well, I guess I've killed Corviknight by this point, so I could beat Chesto, in fact. But I don't want to beat Chesto. Like, if I avoid being Chesto, it's more likely that... Well, okay, even if I'm Chesto, I don't want to use the Chesto Berry, so I can stay in and help with Jinx longer. Because, like, I'm not getting dead to crit from Jinx, even after a Persian Fake Out or some bullshit, so... Yeah, no, so I kill Corviknight in 2 turns, I kill Gengar in the next 2 turns. Turn 1, I switch to this. Turn 2, I switch to this. Turn 3, I switch to this. And then turn 4, I take a hit from Gengar, but, in fact, maybe I'm killing it with Waterfall. And Alolan Golem is starting on Jinx at that time. Because Walrein is not scared of either of these Mons, particularly. He could be Chesto Berry, in fact, so he can take 1 sleep. Then we've killed Gengar. Jinx. I'll be Chesto Berry on this, so Jinx can't sleep either of us that first turn. So Gengar is gone. Gengar has gone to Walrein. Alolan Golem does a ton of damage into Jinx. In fact, this is a guaranteed kill. That leaves Persian and Hypno out against no Chesto Berry in worst case, Alolan Golem and Walrein. One of them should have Chesto Berry still, to be honest, though. And I can just switch in Staraptor at that point, who is just going to close combat kill everything. I know this is Focus Sash, but the other guy can deal with that. So I think this is safe. I just have to execute it right. So I will switch the team out and then have another look in the calc and see if I still believe everything I said at that point. Of course. And remember the massive pre-damage that's going to be needed to make this line work, because, yeah. I haven't even yet calculated what the pre-damages have to be as well. It is nice to have 2 Shell Armor Mons, though. It makes this whole pre-damaging business a lot more consistent. Or at least a lot less complicated. Alright, these 3 can have Chesto Berries. Let me just look for a second here. Okay, maybe... I don't know what item I want to give Torterra yet. And... So I mean I could have the Miracle Seed to one-shot No, that's stupid. She can have a citrus berry. Since she is Sweet Vale, we, of course, do not need to worry about her falling asleep at the very least. Alright, and I think I needed to give a citrus berry to Cloyster. Because... why? There was a reason. Hex does so much damage that we need to heal some off with citrus berry to not be immediately dead to Pluck. Wait. No. 78 plus 18... 96... We'd be left on 6. Okay. I mean, Torterra should never click an attacking move, but you're probably right. May as well. Alright, I don't want to give Citrus Berry here. Give this Never Melt Ice. Alright, now let's compute what the pre-damages have to be. So... wait, sorry, what the hell? Why would I give that a Citrus Berry? I can't give a Citrus Berry for that. Right. So let's see. I need to be dead to Pluck, which does 50. I also need to be aware that whatever berry I gave her would be stolen by Pluck anyways. That's an important point. Yeah, another thing. This has Pluck to further get rid of your Chesto berries. Right, so, Pluck does 50 damage. Hex does 42 damage. So we need to be at 42 HP for this. Which means I can't give a Citrus Berry or she'll instantly heal some of it anyway. No, you were saying to do that, but I think I'll make Torterra the pivot because he's Shell Armor, so it makes it... I don't have to worry about crits when I'm switching in. So instead, Sarina will be the first Mon. Because I needed somebody to play that role as well. So then we can take Cloyster. And Cloyster doesn't need any pre-damage because after tanking a Hex to the face... I'm not intimidating anything, am I? No, good. After taking a Hex to the face... 66... plus a Pluck... Wait. Did I miscount? I gotta be careful. I was almost gonna do this wrong for some reason. Okay, so Hex 66 plus 15. That does 71, 81. And I need to be dead 96, 78. Oh! This is a little bit scary. So the problem here is the damage range is too wide. Because if I'm Cloyster here, yeah, this is not quite, this is bad. So if I'm Cloyster here, Pluck minimum does 15 damage. And Hex does 66 damage, so that does 71, 81. Which means that I would be left with 21 health. I need to be left with only 15 health to be dead to Pluck, so I need to pre-damage by 6 points to 96. But if I start with 96 HP, then max roll of Pluck brings me down to 78, which is equal to the max roll of Hex. So either I risk double max roll, Or I risk that they double min roll, and then Gengar is clicking Hypnosis and shit. So the question is, which risk do I want to take here? See, I think there's a world where I actually risk the mineral thing, because, like, if Gengar starts clicking Hypnosis instead of Hex, who does he Hypnosis exactly? He Hypnosis Torterra. Does anything bad happen because Torterra gets put to sleep? Like, I don't think so. Because all that's going to happen is Torterra will not be dead to... Torterra will still be dead to Ice Beam? Because Jinx already one-shots it at full health. So that's not changed. He'll take less damage on the switch-in, but being put to sleep is the equivalent of taking a ton of damage when the thing attacking you is a Mon who has Hex. So I think it's actually better to go with 97 HP. I'm never dead to double max roll, and if it really is the double mineral scenario, he could put to sleep Torterra, and that's not a problem. And the worst case scenario is that he tries to put to sleep Golem, but Golem has a Chesto Berry, so that would be fine for one turn. And then after the switch-in... Okay, let's see. Turn 1, turn 2, kill Corviknight. No, that would be disastrous, because then Gengar just kills a Alolan Golem. So yeah, double max after risk double max. That's the only way. Unless there is some way I could do Oranberry shenanigans to make this okay. Like arrange it so that I get an Oranberry proc if and only if he high rolls. Oh shit, I can do that. Because look, the damage range is 12 points. So I can play around double max roll by holding an Oranberry. Because if I hold an Oranberry... No, but I can't conditionally trigger the Oranberry because I always take more than half damage. So yeah, there's no way to do that. I was thinking of another fight where I did that, but it doesn't work here. Okay, fine. Man, for a mathematician, I'm very slow with arithmetic. Alright, fine. So, we risk that. Then Torterra. Now, Torterra is going to come in. He's going to tank a Hex and a Pluck. That does at least 40 plus 42. So that does 82. We need to be dead to another Hex and another Pluck. So... Wait. No, I remember how this goes. Yeah, we need to be dead to another Hex and another Pluck. So we need to be on 40 HP, so we start at 122. And the damage ranges are not... Okay, 8 plus 8, 16, 128, 138. Okay, and we're never dead with Torterra to double max roll. Walrein with Chesto Berry, who is full health because we're not doing pre-damage shenanigans anymore at that point. Staraptor with Chesto Berry, who is full health. Alright. Well, I think I computed everything. Okay, good. So everything has the right items, and now we need to set the pre-damages. This is why they pay me the medium bucks. Alright, Quincia. Laser Ted. I mean, it's basically, risking double max roll is basically the same as risking double crit, since this thing can't actually be crit. And double crit is not the worst thing in the world for a doubles battle this annoying. Alright, let's see. So the smallest pre-damage is 6 HP. Good. Alright, and then Torterra needs to get to 122, so we need another 16. And Quincy is at 99, needs to get to 42. Okay, 8 more. That's actually a very good point. So let's see. I want to make sure that Corviknight is opposite Torterra. And if we look at the spreadsheet, Corviknight is the second Mon. So Torterra needs to be in the second slot, so Golem needs to be in the first slot. Yeah, so Golem goes in the first slot. Conveniently, the calcs and sheets for this game, if they list it so that like the first Pokemon in their party order goes like opposite the first Pokemon in your party order. Like they've done it the proper way and not the confusing way. So it should be totally fine. If it's not, by the way, if it's not, I don't think it matters in this case because like Persian has Fake Out and Flail. The others don't do any damage if there's no sleep. So no matter what Mon is out, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be Jinx. Yeah, like Golem Alola also baits Jinx. So this is yet another doubles battle where somehow the order of my party doesn't actually matter as long as I get the right leads. Yeah, Corviknight's on the left. So I want Alolan Golem to be on the left as well. But, I mean, like I said, it doesn't actually matter in this particular instance. Because I'm pretty sure that, like, every mod in my box, at almost every HP, actually baits Jinx. That's because of how weird this team is. So it's totally fine. Alright, let me just check one last time. I have the right two Pokemon in the lead. I do. Now let's lose the run! It has Fake Out, that's right. But AI doesn't care about the fact that it has Fake Out unless that Fake Out would be a fast kill. And that's not going to matter because Jinx is faster than every mod I'm bringing anyways. So it would also think it has a fast kill. Also, so one of the complications of the AI in this game is that the Switch AI doesn't know about lots and lots of things. So like, for example, there's a Delcatty on one of the boss fights that only has Fake Out and Last Resort. And so Last Resort has like a ton of base power, right? But obviously you have to click Fake Out first. But the Switch AI, when it's considering who to switch in, the AI doesn't think about the fact that it can't click Last Resort right away. And so it also doesn't think about things like who has a priority move and so on. I think the only thing it does notice of that kind is like who has Focus Sash and maybe Analytic Boost. But there's actually a bug where the AI gets confused about when it does and doesn't have an Analytic. But that's a story for another time. Like, if I ever make it to some part of the game where an Analytic mod appears. The calc is mostly good. We are playing with fire. As I've got to know this game, I've got to learn the bugs off the bugs list and people in Discord helpfully explaining to me. I did lose my last run because I misunderstood how the calc displayed the boost from download on Porygon. And so I wiped to Norman because of that. Although, to be fair, there was some chances I was going to wipe anyway. But it seems like most battles in this game you're playing with fire. Certainly the further you go. Alright, let's see it! That's not actually the order I thought the Mons would be in? No. That is. Never mind. That is what I thought was going to happen. Because I wanted Corviknight to be opposite Sarina so that later Corviknight will be opposite Torterra. Although once again, it doesn't actually matter. No. But I think that, yeah, this is fine. We did it right. Yeah, no, for a second I got confused about which order my Mons were supposed to be in, but the point is, it's like directly across. So when Corviknight goes down, it will look at whoever's in the Sarina slot. And that's what I wanted to happen. Alright, so we're gonna Wild Charge this Corviknight. And we're gonna get out of there and go to Laser Ted and hope for no double max roll. No double max roll one time. I can't look. We're Gucci. Alright, now this is... No, it didn't max roll Hex. Max roll Hex would have left us with at most 2 HP. Or 3 HP. If it was max roll Hex, we would be on at most 3 right now. But it did get a pretty good roll. Alright, so we're going to get rid of this Corviknight here. And we are going to go into NORAD. And, we're going to take some hits on NORAD. Then Jinx is going to show up on the field. That's good. We need to be less than 40. We are. All right. Now we are going to start working on getting rid of this Gengar. And we're going to bring in good old Sonic. I named Walrein Sonic because Walrein is such a fast and speedy mon, as everyone knows. We are risking crits here on Walrein, unfortunately. Well, I should have played around that and I didn't. Alright, so now I gotta remember to do this the correct way. So this time, oh, maybe we're not risking crits, maybe it's only like double crit out of the 4 moves or something. So this time, we are going to use Alolan Golem to get rid of Jinx with Rock Slide, let's say. Why not? And, oh, Rock Slide attacks them both. I guess that is absolutely and completely fine. We still one-shot Jinx in doubles damage. Rock Slide? Rock Slide is 100% accuracy. So that is one of those moves that has at its accuracy up to 100% in this game. Because this game is like so tightly designed with these fights that if there was like random mischances, you would just randomly be fucked. You would hardly be able to plan reliable lines for anything. So I may as well do it. And then I don't know if that finishes off Gengar. I don't think it necessarily does. But just in case it doesn't. Well, hang on just 1 second. Let's see. So how much did I do to Gengar? 70% Black Sludge recovery. Then we're going to do a Rock Slide. 108%? Yeah, it's not guaranteed. Yes, that's right. I'm just trying to figure out if I can switch into Staraptor here. And not risk, like, both Mons happening to attack Walrein and both critting. As opposed to one of them attacks Golem, a sleep move is clicked, all kinds of other scenarios that would be safer for me. Well, I take an Ice Beam. Walrein takes at most 15 HP from an Ice Beam right now. Oh, I see. You're saying Staraptor takes a huge Ice Beam. Yes, so that's why I definitely can't do that. Yeah, so there is no play where we don't just click Waterfall right now on this Gengar. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're fine. This is why we brought Chesto. Jinx is very frail. That suits me just fine. Alright, now we got the last two in the back. But if all your Mons are awake, this is honestly just not that much of a scary enemy. Obviously. Right, so we are going to see if they'll waste time. Yeah, that's right. This has Unnerve. However, we anyway don't have a Chesto Berry anymore on Golem, so the Unnerve doesn't matter for him. And he's full health, so we may as well try and get it done with a wild charge. And Walrein, I know this is pretty low HP, but the only scenario where we take damage is by getting faked out, which is not enough damage to really hurt us that much. So we may as well go for a waterfall. I think that's actually good because the Mon who had more health. Oh, but Persian doesn't have attacks. I would charm Persian if Persian had like any kind of a normal set where he actually like attacked. Oh, on nerve. Well, it doesn't matter what I did in that scenario. Okay, let's think about what I'm supposed to do here. Right? Do I really though? So here's what I'm thinking. Golem can stay in from being high HP and likely take some hits. They're never clicking a sleep move because I'm already asleep, right? And Walrein... yeah, quite true. Well, so I lose 1/8 to bad dreams. I lose 1/8 to him clicking bad dreams. I lose 1/2 my HP to Dream Eater. I lose like a quarter more. Yeah. A flail is still... I didn't do any damage. Flail does like 2 HP. So I'm pretty sure that a Alolan Golem lives this turn, unless he gets crit. What I want to do, though... They're both going for... I think everyone switches out. Because here's what's going to happen. Walrein goes to Staraptor, and Alolan Golem goes to Sarina. Both slots are getting hit with exactly Dream Eater, which doesn't do anything because I'm awake. Sarina can't be put to sleep. And Sarina is, despite being low HP from the beginning of the fight, never dead to Flail. And we just kill Persian next turn, and then Hypno can't do much of anything. So everyone's gonna switch out. Also, we get an Intimidate, if anyone cares about that. I probably don't. I don't even know why it shows me Bad Dreams ability when it doesn't do anything. I think this game just shows you it every turn. Alright, so this turn, Persian moves first. Persian, okay, nothing can ever put Sarina to sleep. So the only way Sarina ever takes damage is Persian Flail. But Persian moves first. So Flail crit does 15 HP. So Sarina is completely safe right now. So all we're gonna do... what did I put on this, by the way? Muscle Band? Yeah. Sarina is completely safe right now. So what we are gonna do is we are going to low sweep away the Persian. Now, the one issue here is if both Mons click sleep moves and puts Staraptor to sleep twice. Oh yeah, Staraptor could be put to sleep. But that's completely fine because I will quick attack this turn. And that doesn't do that much damage, so the flail won't be that much higher. But it is going to make sure that Sarina gets her kill. Yeah, if this is, let's say I crit. Flail against Sarina after a crit. On their crit, I'm never dead to crit, even if I crit this quick attack. So this is perfectly safe. Famous last words. And now this can only put us to sleep. There's no more Unnerve. Hypno has no... So Hypno's moves are Dream Eater, Dark Void, and Nightmare. It can't hurt anyone who's awake. Sarina is invincible. He could have. And I think that he was basically... It was a similar situation to how I keep saying that he had 40% chance to do exactly that. And 60% to try and do a little bit of damage. Oh wait, no, you're right. Because nobody was asleep, so why wouldn't he click Dark Void? Yeah, never mind. You're right. Hypno's crazy. Why did that happen? So I forgot about Persian Unnerve. But, Hypno didn't click Dark Void. Even though he had no other usable moves. I wonder if something weird happened where, like, he picked a Mon to look at to think about attacking because he didn't see any kills. He randomly picked Sarina. He's like, oh, Dark Void doesn't do anything, and didn't think about the fact that it hits both enemies. Okay, yeah, that is certainly also could be what happened. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why he didn't click Dark Void in that circumstance. I think that I would have clicked Dark Void if I was him. I mean, maybe he realized he had no chance to survive anyway, but because I had Chesto. But I think I remember this, so if I look at my notes from when I did this fight before, it says that Mega Kick. What is I doing? Oh, there's some other fight with a Hypno in it. Why don't I have notes on this? Apparently I didn't write down. Nah, a lot of people have played this game. Whatever glitch it is, somebody probably knows about it. I'm gonna ask in the Discord later. I'll post a clip. I'm sure that somebody will, like, pretty quickly say, oh yeah, Bad Dreams is glitched, or oh yeah, the AI chooses moves in a weird way. Well, let's see. It's just one more fight before we get back to Petalburg. And I don't think I have a safe start. Oh, I do. Lovely. Okay. Yeah, so this fight... Fisherman Andrew, this is the Lagging Tail fight. So we've got a... Jellicent. Got Swift Swim Barraskewda, but I don't think anything sets Rain. And Bruxish. And Delmise. With Switcheroo if you want to get Lagging Tail. Last run I did and never used... Yeah, so this battle is easy. I think the gimmick of this battle is just that, like, yeah, but you might have to do something more complicated in your attempt to get Lagging Tail. Okay, so let's say I lead with Sarina, with Miracle Seed, and immediately kill Jellicent. Then what is going to happen? Well, what if two things happen? I get hit by Cursed Body or I don't. If I get hit by Cursed Body, Barraskewda, Ice Fang. If I don't... Probably... So I think the one thing, though, is if I get Cursed Body and Dropkick is disabled, then I'm actually going to bait Delmise because I won't have any moves that can hit it. So it's going to think it's invincible. So I think there's two different lines depending on who gets baited. Now, if Barraskewda is baited, this is always just Ice Fang. And I just... This doesn't have any setup or anything fun like that. This doesn't have any flinch. Drill Run is not a flinch move, is it? Nah, it's high crit. So, like, I just go into, like, let's say Cloyster and slowly destroy it. Nothing bad can happen there. Well, I guess I could lose to, like, repeated overlapping roll liquidation defense drop. But come on, there's no chance of that. And we'll have some backup plan where I pivot to get rid of the defense drop. Like, because he's not clicking Ice Fang, so I could pivot back to Sarina to reset if anything goes wrong. So yeah, Cloyster absolutely wins. So what's going to happen after that? Well, it just depends on the HP. But I think it's quite likely to be Bruxish. Because either Bruxish will see a fast kill, or at least see it's faster than out damaging. Like, so it's either Bruxish unless Grassy Glide sees a slow kill, but I'm just high enough HP that there's no Psychic Fang's fast kill here. But anyway, as for Bruxish, what are we going to do about that? We always kill straight up with Torterra, and that's completely safe because it's shell armor, so that's a very simple plan. So why wouldn't I just do that? Pretty simple. And then Delmise. Is there any sense to having Lucario here? Now, Dragalge is not so great because Shadow Claw apparently does a lot of damage. And so does Iron Head. Yeah, Staraptor is quite good. I just need to chip it by some other mon or another. Honestly, I'm faster, so I can synthesis up, actually, and stall it out to get the lagging tail if I, like, ever cared. And I can also chip it in the meantime with Staraptor in the back to take it out. Walrein, if I'm not bathing Grassy Glide, can finish it after this. There's some chip, maybe. Who knows? There's also Charm. Okay, well, actually, we can Intimidate this. If I'm at Staraptor, I could go to Masquerain Air Slash. So maybe I bring Masquerain instead of Dragalge. Because Masquerain can kill this from quite high HP, so I just have to chip it a little bit with Torterra. Or I just have to chip it a little bit with Staraptor. Either way. And then I go to Masquerain and kill immediately. Staraptor to Masquerain, it's never clicking Shadow Claw. Oh, but it can click Iron Head. So actually, Masquerain is not a good choice. Miltank is in the wrong box. It will be a range. I mean, this is pretty safe anyhow, because Torterra can synthesis up on this. Because I'm faster. What does Lagging Tail even do again? Last in priority bracket. Why is that not just as good as Iron Ball? I mean, obviously not if there's priority involved, but like, in many scenarios that is just as good as Iron Ball. Switcheroo. If holding Lagging Tail, +7. Yeah, so it's probably gonna click Switcheroo anytime. So all I gotta do is remember not to be Miracle Seed Torterra, because then I would lose my Miracle Seed. You're quite right. You're quite right. It will be okay after it's intimidated a little bit. I mean, also I can go back to Sarina, even though it doesn't do that much damage, but I can chip a little bit and Trop Kick some more. So yeah, Sarina with Miracle Seed. A Cloyster with Citrus Berry, as you said. Of course, Citrus Berry does just to make it even easier to win this fight. We're not flinched or anything, but there's defense drops, and we have to pivot. For Bruxish, we can be... We can be Pecha Berry, just in case we're low and he... Wait, what does... Okay, that's true. Iron Ball can be used for Trick Room gimmicks. I guess I haven't got to the part of the game where there's that many Trick Room teams, but it does happen later. Like, for example, in the Elite Four, one of the two versions of Glacia is a Trick Room fight, and then it can be really tough because obviously you don't want to bring slow mons for everybody else. Not that I'll ever get there. I will one day. Alright, so Torterra, there's no reason to have a Pecha Berry. I guess I could just bring a citrus berry. Oh, yeah, that's true. There is also that. I didn't think about that, but of course that does come in. I only have 36 citrus berries left. You know? And Switcheroo is going to happen on Torterra and give him some random berry. So actually, do I even want to put an item on Torterra? Yeah, Serena has to be Miracle Seed because she needs it to one-shot the lead. So there's no question about that. I'm just trying to think if there's any item that I even want to give Torterra. Because Switcheroo... Yeah, Switcheroo only cares that one person is holding an item. Why would I want to be Silk Scarf? Because my highest damage move is Surf on Barraskewda. If anything, I should be Wise Glasses. Won't he click? No, but he doesn't care if I have an item. Apparently the AI is just that he sees that he's holding Lagging Tail and decides to click it 90% of the time. Or 80% of the time. He doesn't actually care what item I'm holding for Switcheroo. Even though that would make sense. Now let's see. So Surf kills in 4 hits. Guaranteed. If I'm holding Wise Glasses, it almost never kills in 3 hits. So actually, Surf is not that good. So I'll just take a Citrus Berry. Just in case of, like, defense drop requires a pivot or some bullshit. So then Bruxish. Oh, you know what? Maybe I want to give Torterra a Citrus Berry, because actually what will happen is he'll use it on Bruxish and then be higher HP by the time Dhelmise comes in, because I don't actually want Dhelmise to see me on low HP, because then he's just going to attack instead of clicking Switcheroo. No, but that's dumb, because I'm going to Synthesis up. Can Psychic Fang's defense drop? Doesn't do that. It just destroys Squeeze. So I take 2 Psychic Fangs, and then he's dead. So I'm just fine. So no item for Torterra. And then we just gotta think about this Dhelmise. I don't think I can actually get mail in this game. See, every time you suggest something fun to do, then I'm like, oh, well, in this game you can't do that. Staraptor, I'm not going to give a Muscle Band, I'm going to give Citrus. Because actually, after he's got rid of his Lagging Tail, he's never going to click Switcheroo, even if it would make sense to steal my berry by doing it. And Cassandra, we can give Citrus. But Walrein is never going to live 2 attacks reliably, so I want him to be the finisher. So we're going to do it like this. All right. Ironhead. That's a flinch move, isn't it? Let me just read what these moves do so I don't get caught out. Shadow Claw, high crit. Grassy Glide. +1 priority in grassy terrain. Alright. Well, that's not relevant here. So, how does Norman's gym work in Vanilla Emerald? Because in this game, it's like a branching paths gym where you have to take 3 fights, but each fight has a different theme and there's different options. I think that's a vanilla thing, right? Yes, that's right, but the calc shows that. Yeah, the calc knows about that. So I made all my decisions assuming that. See, this is the good thing about being a Pokemon ignoramus like me, is that I can't, like, do something in my head and then forget about an ability for most abilities, because I have no idea how much Iron Head should do. I have no game sense. I just look at the calc and it's like, oh, it does this much, and I just accept it. What a great reason to try and murder my Pokemon. Your fishing line is snarled up. It's on. This exactly always kills. I am 30 attack naughty Sarina. Almost no Sarinas in this game can do this. I mean, and it's also a ghost type, so none of my other moves could even hit it. Cursed Body. Alright, now I'm really curious if the AI knows that I can't click Trop Kick anymore. Because if it knows that I have no moves that can hit Ghost, it's going to send Delmise, but otherwise it should just send Barrascuda to try and beat me up with Ice Fang before it dies. It knows! Very interesting. Alright, let me make a note of that. So alright. Now, let's see here. So, it is probably going to click Switcheroo. But if not, it is going to click Iron Head. Now, I guess I should have thought more about this version of the line. Because, do I want to go into Torterra? Probably not, right? Because if I'm at low HP when I beat this, then I'm in trouble against Bruxish, which can do more than... well, which outspeeds me. So I don't want to do that. So I think the thing I'm supposed to do here is switch straight into Staraptor and just hope that... well, but I put a Citrus on Staraptor. So, didn't I? But I think I just have to live with that. Like, because this at least does the Intimidate. It was 80% chance to click Switcheroo, and the rest was Ironhead. Alright, well, the thing about this is, it sucks that I just gave him a Citrus Berry. I should have thought about this more. But, what can you do? No Ironhead flinch one time? Alright, Leopold's clutching up. He's not going down so easily. Yeah, thanks for the Citrus Berry. You know what the best part is? Ironhead crit is max roll 97. Now let's say I was to kill this right now. What is going to happen? So, I'll be extremely low HP. I'll outspeed Bruxish. Barrascuda comes in. It's always Ice Fang. I go into Cloyster. We're Gucci. What happens if Ironhead flinch? Then I'm dead to Ironhead and Grassy Glide. And... Yeah, so Barrascuda definitely. What happens if Ironhead flinch? Is there like a reason... Because what I could do, right? No, I didn't take Masquerain. Because it's even more dead than other things. I took Dragalge and Walrein. But what I can do is just go to Dragalge now, right? And this, if it's not going so hot, or go to. Wait, no, I can just go to Walrein now because I'm faster than this, and I'll be able to kill with Aurora Beam. And at that point, Bruxish will come in with Psychic Fangs. Protera kills that. Okay, everything is restored. Yeah, so I go to Walrein actually, because this is low enough HP that I can just outspeed and kill with Walrein, and I always live one attack. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually you're right, because Walrein could get crit through the Intimidate. But we're never dead to crit, so we may as well try our luck. No, Ironhead flinch a second time, eh? Lovely work. Okay, yeah, that's ideal. No, we didn't have to take a risk on Walrein that way. So now it's Barrascuda. This is Ice Fang, but it could also be Liquidation. Well, let's hope it's Ice Fang. Some rolls of Liquidation also killed. Unfortunately for him, that wasn't a very good move to click against Cloyster. There are some terrifying Barrascudas in this game. So the champion has a Barrascuda with Choice Band, and the only moves, and it's a Swift Swim, it's a Rain team, and its only moves are Liquidation and Flip Turn. And because they have similar damage, it's very hard to consistently bait one move and not the other, and so then you get completely different lines depending on whether it immediately switches itself out or not. Which I think is a hilarious way to add variance to the end of a run. Yeah, Laser Ted's got this on lock. This just does not have any coverage to damage a Cloyster. Alright. So max roll of Psychic Fangs is 40. So I can stay in and click Surf one time. I don't think there's any point to doing so, because Torterra always one-shots this. This is not Focus Sash or anything like that. All right. GG. All right, now let's see here. This is probably a good time to mention that I have no idea how to do this part. Is this supposed to be hard, by the way? Or am I just like the biggest idiot to have ever played a Pokemon game? Yeah, I didn't really think so. But it's hard for me, I'll tell you that. Alright, now there's a lot to think about. Yeah, now is the gym. If I could remember which way Petalburg was. Yeah, it's this way. Alright. I have to choose. So, witness the beauty of this very professionally drawn diagram that I got off Discord. Recovery's not even centered right. So these are the teams, or these are the paths. So usually the way to look at this gym is the strength and recoil room, because they are incredibly hard. Figure out which one of those you can possibly beat, and then work your way back. So strength room is Cool Trainer Jody with yeah, Choice Band Giga Impact Slacking. Because definitely you have a mod in your box that can survive that for sure. Yes, it is a normal type gym. They're not that strict, especially with the gym trainers themselves. Well, okay, you want to see Roxanne. Roxanne's normal types. We have Bisharp, the normal type. Zygarde 10%, the normal type, or rock type. Zygarde 10%, the rock type. And then I think the other ones here are actually rock types. Brawly has Kubfu, or rather Lopunny, is not a fighting type. But I guess Mega Lopunny is, so that's good enough. Watson, I think, could at least be bothered to find 6 electric types. And I think Norman has normal types, right? These are actually normal types, so good enough. Right. Yeah, so this slacking cool trainer Jody. As you can see, everything in my box is dead to crit. Oh, well, you see, in Gen 3, Fairy type didn't exist yet, so this is probably normal type or something. I don't know. But the excuses for that one. This is... The rest of these are also normal type, though. So 4 out of 5 ain't bad. Right? Anyway. Yeah, so I don't have anything for this slacking. I'm gonna struggle, but maybe I could deal with Conkeldurr with Burned Hatterene. Marowak seems tough. That could be dealt with this. Maybe Muscle Band Staraptor. Well, look, it's a normal type on the first turn. What else do you want? Come on. You're having such high standards, eh? Alright, Oh, also important. HP Dragon on the Riolu. Actually... not important. Yeah, I'm just, really quick gonna update the calc. So we have Lucario in the calc. Yeah, maybe it is. And there's also some other encounters that I've been delaying that I lost access to, because basically when you go through the Rusturf tunnel, it gets closed off behind you after Watson. But now I can go back and get them. Like in Rustboro City, I could get them on there. But I'm delaying till after I get the fossil from Mirage Tower and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's... What is the Lucario set gonna look like? It's gonna look like Copycat. There's gonna be, Aurasphere. And maybe not Iron Tail, huh? Bullet Punch, Rock Smash, as a rough first estimate. Yeah. Let's say Aurasphere, Rock Smash, Bullet Punch, Copycat is the set here. So, what did I leave? We can actually see right here. So I didn't go to the casino. I didn't go to Route 111. Route 111 has a bunch of ground types if you fish. which can help with Watson's gym, but I don't know how helpful they're going to be in Norman's gym, most of them. Rustboro City. I can get Lycanroc. I can get whatever the evolved Mudbray is, the horse thing, Clodsdale. I can get Donphan. I think I can't get Herdier. I think I have one in my death box of that. I can get Togedemaru. Togedemaru would be clutch. It's 10% chance, and I don't have any static or magnet pull and never have. So it's unlikely to happen. But basically, so the delays that I have delayed, I have good reasons for delaying. So like, Rustboro City, obviously if I don't take an encounter there, then I can revive a fossil. And the fossil, I guess it's not in this list, but fossil Pokemon are quite good. Yeah, 111 Shellos, so Gastrodon, Seismitoad, Stunfisk, or Toxicroak, or Lantern. Maybe Lantern could actually do something here, I don't know. But like that's also very unlikely to get. But you don't want to take, because if I skip the fossil, I also miss out on Desert Underpass later. And then I could get, you know, I could get Drapion there. That would be really good. And these various other things seem useful too. So Toxicroak would be really good. That I could also get though from Petalburg City, which I've also delayed. And actually I have a good chance at Toxicroak here because it's 30% and Masquerain is 20%, which is a dupe. So it's basically similar to 111, but much more chances of Toxicroak if I go to Petalburg City and fish here. The reason not to do it is because if I delay till after Flannery, I can get Surf and have my chance of Primarina or Greninja. And Primarina is maybe the best mon in this game. Or one of the best. But of course you are right that we need something for the gym. Now, Toxicroak would be good for the gym, but like, maybe that same role is played by Thrower Sock. And if I roll this and don't get Toxicroak and just get something useless, maybe it would have been better if I just cash in this gambling encounter. But you're not wrong. It's anticipation, that's not right. Let me throw a quick Toxicroak set into the list of potential things to glance at. Okay, this gets Fake Outs. Quite useful stuff. I could get Toxic and Venoshock. I don't know if I want to get those. Yeah, that's right. That can fraud our way out of some things. It's just too bad it's not Poison Point. Because, that would be really good on the Cinccino. But yeah, this can also learn Aura Sphere. This also learns Vacuum Wave. You know, Sucker Punch. Probably I'm taking Sucker Punch if I have this. Probably Aura Sphere for a good fighting move. Probably want some poison move. which I guess could be Sludge Bomb. Yeah, that's pretty true, pretty true. Yeah, I think a decent fighting type will come in clutch for Rampardos. However, we do have Lucario. And Lucario... Oh, this is Lucario here. Lucario can... Yeah, so how would this fight look with Lucario? Kill Rampardos. Straight up. Lucario, by the way, cannot take a Giga Impact. This is Choice Band as well. The only thing that my box can take it is the Alolan Golem. Yeah, I mean, okay, wait. How does this move work? Copycat. Oh, yeah, that wouldn't work. It's not, after me. Nah, even more dead. So, last time, I looked at this room and then decided that I had no way to deal with slacking. And I feel like that's still the situation that I find myself in. So the alternative to this is, Cool Trainer Burke. Now, Cool Trainer Burke has Light of Ruin, Floette Eternal. He has his own Lucario. Staraptor with all the recoil moves you can muster. Bouffalant with Cuss Step Berry, Head Charge, Wild Charge, Lash Out, and Reversal, because why not? And Choice Scarf Emboar. And usually this thing is the easiest to deal with, solely because, like, obviously you bait some move and then switch on it and Choice Scarf. But this Bouffalant with Cuss Step Berry caused a lot of problems. Okay, meanwhile, I have absolutely nothing for Floette Eternal. Yeah! Yes, when I have been pessimistic, say things like, oh, well, that's the last fight we win, or something like that. I am just being a little funny, and I am also being very serious. This is exactly kind of how I thought this was going to go. Maybe I would manage to limp past the last few fights. To be honest, I did... Like things went way better than I expected. There was a lot less risks in those getting here than I anticipated. But there's going to have to be some sacks just to get through the gym trainers. And then... Oh, wait. Wait, no, this is Fairy. I can't use Dragon Tail. I was hoping this would be the chance for the Dragon Tail shenanigans. Well, one thing I could do is go for Magmar. What type resists Fairy? I never remember this. Steel type, huh? Oh, but fighting is weak to Fairy. Yeah, I see. And the problem is that the poison type and steel type that I could have are fighting types, so they are not actually resisting this fairy move. I mean, maybe I can fraud the slacking in some way? Okay, so like... Taros is potentially very fast. Um, 1/4 chance to kill. Now, if I can get this to -2 or -3, then like Torterra can synth on this. Yeah, like that's what I was thinking, because if it's intimidated, then Torterra can, like he can, because it's Truant, of course, synth up. And maybe there's like Miracle Seed, Giga Drain stuff here. And the other mons in this fight, like Staraptor can be okay for Metacham and outspeeds. Conkeldurr we can deal with Hatterene, especially if we bait the Mach Punch or close combat somehow. And Marowak, I saw something earlier that could deal with this. We could deal with it with like Sarina and Cloyster teaming up or something. Like this, the rest of this fight is not impossible. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Giga Impact, oh, but Giga Impact is 8 PP. There's no PP stall here. You know what I wouldn't give for a ghost type right now? Because if I had a ghost type, then obviously I could deal with the slacking very easily. I guess if I had a ghost type, I could deal with a lot of stuff in this gym. Well... we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. So I think these things have a choice of abilities. I can get Mold Breaker or Inner Focus, which are both handy, but I don't think relevant here. And Sock is the same too. Now let's see here. So, if I'm ending in the strength room somehow, because recoil was too dangerous with Floette. Yeah, exactly. The only hidden ability you get in this game is the starters always have the hidden ability. So Torterra is always Shell Armor. Empoleon is always Clear Body. And Infernape is always Vital Spirit. Vital Spirit's not that good, but if you've ever seen people play this game, Infernape gets a lot of kills. You know, fake out overheat stuff and all that. Fake out close combat. Kills lots of things. Yes, Lucario and Sarina and Staraptor can also do that with Muscle Band. And even Seadra. So Sock can, but if I'm willing to commit my item, my held item for it, I already have lots of things that kill Rampardos. Rampardos is a little bit fragile. But yeah, so probably this is somehow strength room, which is nice. That would at least be new, right? I have done recoil room last time. So that means that before that, we have to beat crit or defense room. I think crit room could be a good room to face because we have 2 shell armor mons. Yeah, Torterra destroys this. Golem destroys this. I might have a little trouble here. Throw in Sock will deal with this though. I just have to bait not gunk shot for Sarina here. Yeah, this looks pretty doable. Okay, so crit room seems good. Defense room is often not that scary. We can 2-shot Mudsdale. And rapid spin to blow away stealth rocks after. Like maybe. This thing is kind of a problem with our barbs. Okay, one of those rooms should be doable. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I think it's too late for me to invent good plans. Like, what I really need to do is do an assessment of all the mons I could get, think about what encounters I should take, what casino encounter to take, what route through the gym to take. Really cook up a nice set of lines. But, Speed room has a Blaziken. I have a grudge against Blaziken. Okay, this is not a problem. This in isolation is not a problem. God, Mega, come up with something. This will always be a range. We're dodging air slash flinch. This. I need something that walls it better. Torterra can do that. And for Blaziken, Regalgy maybe. Yeah, so Speed Room is very doable. Whereas if you consider Accuracy Room, so Accuracy Room, when I read the title Accuracy Room at first, I thought, oh, this is gonna be like Bright Powder and stuff. No, it's a room where people have low accuracy moves and they all have no guard. Well, can deal with that. Golurk, we've beat before, we can beat him again. Torterra kind of destroys this room, actually. I think we might go Accuracy Room. Just because... Oh, but then I have to go defense room instead of crits. But accuracy would also... seems like a safer start than speed. Defense room doesn't seem like it's going to be impossible. Just I'm going to have to think a little bit harder than crit room. And then from defense room, can go to strength. There's a lot to think about. I got to think about moves to teach, hidden powers, useful, probably not in this case. Encounters to take. Oh, actually, is there such a thing? Yeah, that's what we're doing. But you know what? You are absolutely right. Okay. Well, I should end my Primarina delay and fish in this pond. However, I wanted to actually make sure that the Mon is coming to a fight. Or that a Mon I could get would come to some fight before I go ahead and do it. I'm probably going to fish first thing next stream, but I got to think everything over. Maybe there's a chance of getting through Norman. But I think I'm going to call it here, really look things over and pick it up tomorrow. But thanks again for your help. I do think I'm learning a lot having someone around who actually knows this series of games and what's in it. Primarina is not a must-have, but it's a strong fairy type with flip turn. Like, basically, it's one of the staples of Elite Four teams in this game. And also does, like, a ton the whole run after you get it. So, I've been trying to delay this encounter if possible. I mean, you should try it. It seems like you'd be tearing through the game much quicker than I would. But, like, it's... in my opinion, as someone who's never played a Pokemon game before, it is very, very hard, and I think even experienced Pokemon players say that, but it is accessible. The ROM is well documented, the fights are well designed, and, you know, with the calcs being clear, the docs being clear, you can really think through everything. And there's a good variety to where you pretty much always have the tools necessary to have a decent chance of success. But every run, you've got different options depending on what you encounter. Some runs you have Salazzle Encore. Some runs you don't. Yeah, Platinum Kaizo. I've been looking forward to it, but... I look forward to watching streamers tackle it. I guess... yeah. I've been aware. But I guess... I don't know. I may try it out while it's new and hype. Probably if I don't find it so easy, I may just go back to Run and Bun simply because, you know, trying to learn one style of hack, one style of thing. Like, Kaizo hacks seems a little bit different in philosophy than this. But yeah, I'll probably check it out. So Emerald Kaizo is a game that came out, you know, many years, like, I don't know, 5 or so years perhaps, before Run and Bun did. It's a different creator, And I guess what I'd say about Emerald Kaizo is it's a little bit more of a stale meta. Like, there's a lot more static mons or mons that you can force to encounter by, you know, dupes clause and taking encounters in the right order. And there's a lot more, it seems, of like set solutions for certain parts of the game. With Run and Bun, I don't think, I think it's a little bit more varied. And also Run and Bun has a little more modern quality of life things, like the fact that you probably have noticed that the level cap is implemented inside the game, so you don't have to really do XP management necessarily. Like the heart scales and rare candies, so you have a very limited amount of heart scales, and they can remember a move, max and IV, or change natures for 3 of them. And rare candies, the evolution levels have been modified so that you can break the level cap and level up before a gym battle. Or rather, evolve a mon before gym battle. So like, I used a rare candy on Brawly to have Masquerain, whereas normally I would only be able to have Surskit. And Masquerain, as you might imagine, does a lot of work on that fight. So I think that there's a little more strategic depth and variety in this game than Emerald Kaizo. And probably a lot of that is to do with a legacy of Emerald Kaizo, that, you know, Dexa looked at what was in that game and thought, like, what can I do that's even better? But what do I know? I've never actually played EK. But yeah, Platinum Kaizo, I'll probably pick it up and try it. And I feel like I'll probably end up going back to this just like out of, if nothing else, a desire to finish what I started. I'm sure that I'll get to PK someday and maybe Pokemon Null and whatever else people have invented by then, you know? Well, I mean, you should stream. It's certainly not hard. A fool like me can do it. Well, I mean, the thing is that the emulator itself is not very intensive. You might be able to actually stream on a MacBook. It wouldn't be, incredible production value, mind, but I don't think it's necessarily impossible. OBS. OBS doesn't run on Mac? Runs on Linux, I thought. Oh, I mean, well, don't let that stop you. I'm sure that you can do it. OBS is not that difficult of a software to use. And there's plenty of tutorials and stuff on YouTube. What you need is probably somebody who actually understands the software to just like walk you through it. Which is unfortunately not me. I'm not a real streamer. But let's see here. Yeah, OBS can totally run on a MacBook. Why not? Like the game itself was lagging, or the stream was lagging behind the gameplay? Because the stream lagging behind the gameplay is normal. Like Twitch builds in a delay and stuff. Ah. And when you say the stream was lagging, you mean like it was dropping frames? Or... Yeah, if that's the case, I mean, one thing you could do is stream at a low resolution. Because that really does decrease the intensity. I mean, and usually that would not be so ideal, right? But I mean, since all you're streaming is a Game Boy game, the resolution of the game is already not that high anyways. So for this particular case, it would not be so bad. Well, that may be true. But, hey, you're the only one to ever look at this stream for more than a de minimis amount of time. And I'm still here. Sometimes the idea of chat existing is enough. In my opinion. Anyway, if the time was good for me, I'd tune in and watch. Because, like, what's the point of 720p when the game itself is not even that high of resolution? Now, maybe I'm talking out my ass and I don't actually understand how this works. Well, you know what? Let's see here. How does this thing work? If you really want, send me a DM on Twitch. I think that's a thing. And I can try and add you on Discord if you want, and fuss around with it. I'm not an expert, but I have used the software for a while and for a couple different games, so maybe I could figure something out. Yeah, so actually, now here's the part where I realize I don't actually know how to add somebody I don't know on Discord. My Discord name is the same as my Twitch name, though. Let's see here. Yeah, one moment. I gotta remember how this number thing works. It's good. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, if you want, I'll end the stream here, and we can hop in a call and try and figure out OBS. Let's see here. Where's that button? Oh, no worries. I mean, I work with people from all over the world, and not all of them have great English. Your written English is certainly good as anyone's, so don't worry about it.